Alrighty, everybody, welcome back to another live stream here on the channel. Hopefully everybody had a great weekend. I don't even know what day it is. Hold on, I gotta check the date here. Weekend's just starting, so hopefully you had a great Friday, as well as a great Thursday. I haven't seen you guys in, I think it's been since Tuesday, right? Well, I hope you had a great Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. It's been a hot minute since I've last been live here. I've lost track of time. The last few days have flown by. I've been very, very busy. I'm not able to look at the weather really much at all. So let's see what we got here today. We're going to go ahead and switch on over to our main scene after I pull up my pin. Forgot to pull up my pin here. Let's see if that works. I'm glad to see the computer's still alive. I just rolled with it. Hope that the live stream would just start when I hit the start button. We looking good? I think we're looking good here. Today's May 24th. At least I got the date right. That's feels like a first. So, yeah, not a whole lot happening right now across the U.S. There's definitely a lot of rain in Mississippi into east central Colorado, specifically back out there in Mississippi, western Alabama. You can see here in Colorado, we've got one storm causing some rain out here in central and into eastern Colorado, some rain out there in Nebraska. But the main severe threat at the moment is back down here in Mississippi and Alabama. Not really seeing much other than a couple isolated damaging wind gusts upwards of 60 miles per hour. We have seen some isolated hail around an inch and a half in diameter, but nothing too over the top out there in Mississippi. Oklahoma, relatively inactive right now. That's going to change substantially over the next 3 hours as we likely have explosive supercell development around and northwest of the OKC area. So we'll see how that verifies in Oklahoma. I would not be surprised if we do see a few strong tornadoes, potentially even a long-tracked strong tornado today north of the I-40 corridor, probably near the Clinton and Canton area in west-northwest Oklahoma. Is this coverage? Sam, it's probably going to be a mixture. One of my family members wanted to do something tonight, so if they end up having time and spare time, I might cut the stream off and go hang out with them. If not, then you're going to have to put up with me for a couple of hours today. So we'll just see which way it goes, but I'm glad to have everybody in here. Let's see what we have in the chat. I don't think I welcomed a soul in here. I apologize. I'm a bit rusty. We have Catman, Storm Dakota, Capybara, Proxy, Kaylee, Legacy, Let's see, Caden. Let me go up a little bit further. Phoenix, glad to see you guys all in here for another stream. Hopefully everyone's doing well. Let's see if I missed anyone further up here. Rango, and I think that's about everybody, at least when I was scrolling up there. Sheridan, glad to see you in here as well. Let's see. I'm in Lawton, Oklahoma. I think storms will stay to the northeast of us. Let's see. Lawton, yep. I think it will stay to your northeast. If we go to our outlook, storms should rapidly explode up in this portion of our risk area, northwest of Oklahoma City. Then they should maintain for probably about 3 to 4 hours through the entire yellow area. And then they should start to die out as they near Norman, Oklahoma. And as they get close to like Hobart or that area, somewhere around here, they should start to rapidly die out. So I think Lawton will be, you need to, pay attention. You're in the risk area, 5% tornado risk, but I think you'll be all right. Storms hopefully will die out to your north. Taking a look at our newest HRRR here, you can see extremely rapid supercell development is expected today. That's from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern. We're expecting things to just explode along the northwest side of an outflow boundary / warm front. Probably, like I said, somewhere between Canton and Clinton, maybe near Elk City as well. And those extremely rapidly intensify. Big time hail is probably going to be the utmost issue out of this. Could see some hail well exceeding 3-inch in diameter, potentially upwards of softball sized hail. And depending on how clustered it is, that strong long track tornado threat is going to be possible, probably with whichever one can get the least cell interaction. So if this does happen, say this actually occurs, it would be the one here near Elk City that has the best chance for a tornado threat. But you can see here, 11 o'clock, they continue off to the southeast. Midnight, they're starting to die out. Towards midnight, they are beginning to die out. 1 a.m., it's just really a blob of weakening severe storms over Norman. And then by 2 a.m., it's really not much more than some heavy rain. However, by the time we get to midnight, we're going to see additional development occur across Oklahoma, northeastern Oklahoma, Tulsa, Stillwater, Broken Arrow, Muskogee. I know I mispronounced that one again. Claremore, all going to be under the gun for some very large hail tonight. And as well as damaging winds near 80 miles per hour also being a possibility. So the main tornado threat should stick with whatever cells fire, likely around or west of Oklahoma City. That's where our greatest tornado threat should be. And our utmost highest hail threat should be west-northwest of Oklahoma City as well. There is a chance we get a pretty large hailstorm in Oklahoma City tonight. So if you do live in Oklahoma City, prepare to not sleep at all tonight, because 10:30 Central, those storms should be rolling through, and they should be quite intense, mainly for hail. Then as we go, like I said, through midnight, 1 a.m. Eastern time, midnight, 1 a.m. Eastern time, move through Tulsa, and then progress off through the eastern side of Oklahoma into Arkansas. For Arkansas, storms should be weakening very rapidly across the western northwest side of the state, and it will likely just be mainly very heavy rain, isolated hail up to about 1 inch in diameter, spin-up tornado or two, and then 60 to 70 mile-an-hour winds. Winds will probably end up being the biggest issue across Arkansas. I don't think our tornado threat will be that heightened if you are out there in western Arkansas, but still going to be under the risk for severe weather, obviously. Welcome, Ben. Glad to see you in here. Let's see. Do you think they should have added the 10%? Oh, yeah, I agree with the 10%. When looking at satellite mesoanalysis model runs, it's very simple. It is a straightforward forecast that we are going to see rapid intensification of multiple supercells north of the I-40 corridor in northwest Oklahoma. Very straightforward forecast. The placement of the 10% might be a little bit tricky, but right now their 10% looks perfect. I mean, you can see if the HRRR were to verify spot on, then their 10% would probably verify nearly perfectly. If the HRRR were to be completely correct. And it looks like the later we go, the more it looks like the HRRR is going to be correct. The NAM3K initiated thunderstorms, I think, at about 6 p.m. maybe even 5 p.m. Eastern. So at least it initiated it at least 40 minutes ago. Let me see if I could take a look. Yeah, it initiated thunderstorms west of Oklahoma City right here at 6 o'clock. And it is 6:40 Eastern time. And there may be some rain out there. Let's see if that's rain or corruption. Looks like corruption to me. Yeah. So that's just all corruption there. So no rain actually out in that area. So yeah, that's your SPC outlook for today. Let's go ahead and dive on into that. I'm actually going to switch on over to Weatherwise to go more in depth with your SPC outlook. So this is today's outlook. I'm going to go ahead and quickly remove mesoscale discussions. There you go. So that's your SPC outlook. We have a slight risk for severe weather centered over portions of Oklahoma in the yellow as well as western Arkansas. Inside that slight risk, that goes all the way back down towards Lubbock, Texas, Big Spring, Abilene, Texas, all the way back up into Paris, Texarkana, Texas, and then just barely outside of Hot Springs, Arkansas, is where that level 2 out of 5 remains in effect. Level 3 out of 5, zoom in a little bit so you can see that a bit better. In this orange, that's your level 3 out of 5. That includes quite populated areas like Tulsa, Oklahoma, Enid, or rather Edmond, my bad, Oklahoma City, Clinton. Let's see if we got any. Oh, well, it does include Enid. It does include Enid. I didn't even realize that. It does include Enid, Oklahoma, Pawnee, Cleveland. Just trying to point out some of the more populated towns out here. Oklahoma City and Tulsa are the big cities that are included in that in Oklahoma. If you do live out there in Tulsa, your biggest issue by far is going to be hail. This red hatched area is for the likelihood of 2.75-inch hail. That is considered destructive hail. If you are in that red hatched area, you are likely to end up with the chance for destructive hail. The two main areas I see is definitely west or in Oklahoma City, back out in this area, and then up into Tulsa as well. A little unsure what's going to happen in between that, from about the east of Enid towards Fairfax, all the way down to Shawnee, Oklahoma. A little bit more of a question mark from what I can tell on model runs on what may initiate there in the overnight hours. Tornado threat, very elevated. Oops, I had no idea they had hotkeys for the outlooks. That's something I just discovered. So yeah, tornado threat very elevated out here across Oklahoma City, pointing to the north and west. That goes all the way up towards Clinton and that area there, Canton, Elk City, all included in that 10% tornado risk. That is non-SIG. This is not a significant tornado risk. You can see there's no hatching on this 10%. So it is actually not a hatched risk today. Little bit questioning on that. I really am. I would think that if they did pull the enhanced for tornadoes, it was going to be hatched. So a little unsure why they pulled a 10 non-SIG. I was either thinking a 5% tornado risk or a 10 significant tornado risk, but instead they pulled a 10 non-SIG. So a little weird on that, considering the fact that once we go into the overnight hours, our lower level wind shear could increase to as high as 500 0 to 1 kilometer SRH. So we'll see. We'll see about if they hatch that at the 9 o'clock update here in 2 hours, 15 minutes. And you can see that 5% does stop at Tulsa because there is a bit of questioning on how messy storms may be able to be towards Tulsa, Broken Arrow. But still, that 2% tornado risk goes all the way back out into Russellville, almost into Hot Springs, Arkansas, for that 2% tornado risk. So a lot of people under the gun for severe weather today. Overall, if we take a look at that tornado risk, you could see a little under 800,000 in the enhanced risk for tornadoes, a little under 2 million under the gun for a 5% risk, and then a little under 12 million people in that 2% tornado risk. People in the risk for very large to extremely large hail. You can see that hatching is for over 5.5 million people under a hatched hail risk, which means hail possible exceeding 2-inch in diameter. And then in the enhanced hatched hail risk, that red hatched area, 2.3 million people under the gun for hail potentially at or exceeding 3-inch in diameter. Damaging winds across the board, it is a 15% for our main risk areas, 15% across Oklahoma, Arkansas, Texas, 15% back out here, Mississippi, Alabama. Isolated wind gusts up to 70 miles per hour will be possible. Could see a gust as high as 80 in Oklahoma if we do see a bit more of an MCS grow upscale very late tonight, likely closer to 1 a.m. midnight Eastern time. Then I do want to go ahead and talk about tomorrow too. So if we go and look at tomorrow's risk, we do indeed have another enhanced risk for severe weather all the way from Amarillo, Lubbock, Texas, all the way through that slight risk level 2 out of 5 goes through Amarillo, Lubbock, through Tulsa, Fayetteville, Fort Smith, Jonesboro, Pine Bluff, Memphis, Huntsville, Birmingham, Tupelo, all those areas inside that very, very large 2% slight risk for severe weather. 2 out of 5. I'm going to say 2%. 2 out of 5 risk for severe weather there. Enhanced risk. You'll never believe it. Norman, Oklahoma City, Elk City, Clinton. Much of the areas under an enhanced risk today, under the gun tomorrow. But tomorrow, I actually do believe that we could see extremely destructive winds tomorrow to the point where it might be worth me staying up very late tomorrow. Tomorrow looks like potentially one of the more destructive wind bags we've had this year. The NAM 3K and the HRRR, two of our cam models that typically disagree with each other, are in very high agreement of intense MCS, potentially producing 90 to 100 mile an hour winds moving through specifically this region right in here. Specifically southwest Oklahoma up towards north central Texas into Wichita Falls. They show a extremely intense line. I'll just show you the HRRR. So this is the HRRR for midnight Eastern tomorrow. That's midnight Eastern time tomorrow. And you could see a very, very intense line of damaging winds, and that would go right through southwest Oklahoma, slam into the southern metro of Oklahoma City towards like 2 a.m., 1 a.m. Eastern. So very, very intense wind bag. And then that would continue through the entire night and even into Monday. That still would have a chance to continue. And you can see the NAM 3K, a little bit disagreeing on that. The NAM 3K does not have that MCS well organized into Arkansas, Louisiana, or Texas. Tomorrow, well, this would be Monday morning, actually. Very early Monday morning. So the HRRR says still intense MCS, NAM 3K, not so much. But this is where they agree. So the HRRR has an intense MCS at 03Z right there. And the NAM, nearly identical, just barely, probably 5 miles west of the HRRR. So very good agreement between the NAM and the HRRR for tomorrow's MCS. So I do think we could probably, honestly, I think we could probably be talking about, if that does happen, up to 100 mile an hour winds. If we see an MCS that well organized, it would not shock me to see 100 mile an hour winds with that well organized of an MCS. Definitely on a model run, it looks like a derecho, but of course, the SPC, they've raised the classification for a derecho, so now it's got to track across like the whole state of Texas from west to east and do 75 plus mile an hour wind gusts across that whole area and be like 60 miles from north to south. Like, we ain't ever going to see another derecho again. They raised that, they almost doubled the classification for how long a wind bag needs to last to be classified as a derecho. That it feels like it's going to be impossible for us to hit that classification again. So I don't know about a moderate for wind tomorrow. I definitely wouldn't rule it out with how intense some of our model runs are showing. Just overall the environment. I mean, the NAM 3K has a huge area of 3,000 to up to 4,000 instability across much of southwest Oklahoma and north central Texas. And if that does happen, that's a lot of energy. That is a lot of energy for an MCS to use up. So I would be watching tomorrow very closely if you are anywhere in southwest Oklahoma into north central Texas, especially if you are anywhere from Elk City, Oklahoma, down to Vernon, Texas, all the way back out to Shawnee, Oklahoma, and like Marietta, Oklahoma. That should be the main area to watch. I wouldn't be shocked if they extend that hatched wind risk well into Norman and Ardmore, Oklahoma for tomorrow. Tornadoes will likely end up being an issue. They only have, and I was pretty surprised by this, they only have a reasonable sized 2%. It's not like a very large 2%, but it's still a good sized 2%. Really shocked that we didn't see a 5% introduction for that MCS somewhere in southwest Oklahoma into north central Texas. If we keep trending that way, we will probably see a 5% introduced. So quite intense thunderstorms over the next few days, specifically into the overnight hours. Tomorrow, that MCS doesn't really get going until probably about 9 o'clock Eastern. That MCS really starts to rapidly intensify. Tonight, obviously not going to see much convection even for the next hour, not expecting much until about 8 p.m. tonight. So we'll see. We'll see which way things trend. I haven't looked at the CSU. I wonder what the CSU has for today. Has a 5% in Oklahoma for tornadoes, 30% hail risk. Actually has a 30% wind risk too for the CSU for today, about for tomorrow. CSU halfway to a moderate risk for wind tomorrow. Or rather for hail, my bad. Halfway to a moderate risk for hail. It's at a 45, or rather a 40. And so a moderate is 45, it's at a 40 right now. Didn't really think hail was going to be an issue in southwest Oklahoma. If it grows upscale like that, I'm not too sure what CSU is thinking. If they do introduce a 30 sig hail, I feel like it would probably be out here. I feel like that's where our greatest hail risk exists tomorrow when those supercells first get going, which they'll fire pretty early. That, that MCS, the MCS doesn't grow upscale until like I said, 8, 9 o'clock. But storms fire at 2, 3 p.m. Eastern time out here in the panhandle of Texas. So storms get going relatively quickly in the Texas panhandle. Tornado threat with them, because they're so messy, it should be fairly on the low side of things. I think they're going to be very, very elevated, and if not elevated, very clustered for tomorrow. What are we looking at for day 3? I got to be honest, haven't even checked the day 3 outlook today. Okay, interesting. So they do have that very large marginal continuing all the way back down into Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia for any thunderstorms firing there, or if the MCS does survive the overnight hours Monday into Monday morning. So, I can't really tell what's going to happen. I think the NAM is a big linear biased, but it looks like we probably will be dealing with another wind bag. They did hatch the day 3 risk out there over San Angelo. I'm pretty sure that's centered right over like Ben's house. Ben's probably going to get nothing out of this, even though he's in a hatched hail risk. Go check the RRFSA model. If that even matters, I'll go look at it just in case. It doesn't have a crazy linear bias like the NAM, so it could at least give me bit better idea. Yeah, looks like we're looking at a mixture of a wind bag and a clustered mode Monday. Right now, it looks like tomorrow is the biggest day out of the next 3 upcoming days. Tomorrow should be the most widespread, I believe. Yeah, tomorrow should be the most widespread because you're going to have storms fire. Man, the NAM is crazy for tomorrow. The NAM 3K. Let me show y'all that. Show you guys the NAM 3K real quick for tomorrow. So, I mean, it just fires storms everywhere. Just hail absolutely everywhere from northeast New Mexico all the way back down into central Texas. And then it grows that MCS rapidly after 8 p.m. Eastern time. And then it keeps that MCS going. I mean, it's still intense until about 7, 8 a.m. Eastern Monday morning. Falls apart. But then guess what? You get another MCS to fire very late in the afternoon into the overnight hours, actually. That MCS grows upscale midnight Monday night into early Tuesday morning. Wouldn't be so sure on that. That's going to change a lot. That's going to change quite a lot. Still no signs of convection in Oklahoma. If you are out there chasing in Oklahoma, this is a mixture of what you want to see, because the later we go without storms, the better chance they will have to produce tornadoes. However, there is a chance we go too late. If we do go too late without thunderstorm development, that capping could help inhibit any thunderstorms from firing off the outflow boundary. But I'm pretty sure we have a dry line. I'm pretty sure we're going to have a dry line that hits the outflow boundary tonight, and that's what's going to ignite our thunderstorms, most specifically just after 8 p.m. Eastern. Should be when those really get going. All right, let's go back to our outlooks here. So, yeah, go switch to radar. I'm thinking about getting a new color table here. I don't know. Do you guys like this color table? It's grown on me, but then when I go and look at other color tables, I'm like, man, I don't think I have the best color table, but I don't know. I like this. I like this one. NATO gas has a 2% in Oklahoma today. That's possible. I mean, it is possible that today just completely underperforms. It's a very big boom or a near big bust, one or the other. Either we're going to have a lot of storms fire up, they're going to have big hail, and the tornado threat's going to be pretty low, or they're going to all explode and we see multiple tornadoes, potentially a few strong, potentially even a long-tracked one, and, you know, crazy hail and damaging winds too. I don't think there's a way that we just see, like, nothing at all. It's either big-time hail and a lower-end tornado threat, or big-time everything. Yeah, but out here in Mississippi, I don't think any of this stuff's possible. I doubt it. Let's go check through the... My fan sounds funny. Thing sounds like it's about to explode up there. Yeah, nothing is possible. It's got me concerned. What if there's something caught in it, trying to start a fire up there in my dresser? Yeah, the only significant severe we have is out here in Colorado, to the northeast of Colorado Springs. You can see some blue DBZ there. So could be dropping around 1.75-inch hail in diameter. Yeah, I did miss yesterday's tornado in Colorado. Seems like it was very, very photogenic and a really awesome chase day for people out there chasing Northeast Colorado. Other than the chaser convergence, man, there was a lot of chaser convergence yesterday in Colorado. I tracked it a bit, but honestly, the last 3-4 days was the absolute least I've looked at weather in probably 2-3 years, probably ever since 2022. The last 4 days, I barely looked at model runs. I barely checked the SPC. The only time I did check was when I heard of that tornado on the ground in Northeast Colorado. I looked for only a couple minutes. I was very, very opposite of hyper weather aware. So, yeah, I really enjoyed my break, though. I needed one really, 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 really bad. I was very worn out. I apologize I didn't get out any content. I was hoping to do a video across like my break, just surprise you guys, but that didn't happen. I did research for hurricane season. Oh, hurricane season. Yeah, we are about to get a named storm in the Eastern Pacific. Well, they decreased the chances. It was literally just at an 80%. They just decreased it back down to 70. Let's see. Yeah, but there's a pretty good chance we get a tropical storm in the Eastern Pacific next week. Let me see what day. It won't be over the next 48 hours. Development is most likely to occur on Tuesday. Tuesday all the way through like Friday is our window for development. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, those are our most likely days for tropical development out here. And there is a chance that it does actually hit Mexico. A few of our runs, it's split. The GFS and the CMC, the Canadian, both have it making landfall somewhere in West Mexico. And then the Icon and the Euro have it going out to sea. So we'll see. We'll need to keep an eye on that. The two main tracks, one takes it right out to sea like that. The other takes it into Mexico like this. Something similar to that. So I think out to sea is the most likely option right now. I think that's the most likely case scenario. But just wanted to mention, we probably going to get our first tropical storm out here in the Eastern Pacific. Caribbean, the Gulf, the Atlantic, the whole Atlantic Basin. We're going to have to wait till probably late June. Looks like late June is going to be the first chance for tropical development out here. Not a lot of signals right now. A lot of Saharan dust out there off of Africa. But we're going to start getting there. Believe me, it's going to come up out of nowhere. 1 minute we're going to be laughing at the GFS throwing out hurricanes 360 hours out. And then out of nowhere, 120 hours out, now we have the GFS showing hurricanes and models start jumping on board with it. So it's going to pop up fast. The first one of the season always does. First one always catches me off guard. Number one thing we got to start paying attention to is ensembles. I got to get back into the swing of things. Learn how to use ensembles again for hurricane season. I'm used to ensembles for a severe weather season, but not for a tropical season. I'm a little rusty with that. Oh, I remember what we used to use. Yes, the ensemble pressure guidance between a bunch of runs. Yes, remember this? Remember this, y'all? Ben, I know you remember this for sure. This is what we used to use right here. This is what we used to use. And look at that consistency in a tropical storm in the EPAC. Very high consistency for a tropical storm out here. Man, I miss talking about the tropics. I'm ready to be talking about hurricane season. I'm ready for it. But then again, I also don't want to let severe weather season go. Tornado season is almost over. Can you believe that? Tornado season is almost over. We still get tornadoes through the entire year, but our main tornado season begins to decrease in early June. And then we move into more of we're already moving into more of mesoscale features. We've stopped with our large troughs, our huge low pressures, our big time tornado outbreaks. We've quit with that. I don't know when the next one will be, but probably not anytime soon. For the rest of May and into probably through at least mid-June, we're going to be looking at mesoscale days with a little bit of flow over New Mexico. It traverses the Rockies and then causes a few storms to fire up over Texas or Oklahoma. We're going to be in mesoscale action, which is when these tornado threats pop up out of nowhere. If you're not paying attention, you know, you could go from a marginal risk to an enhanced risk in literally an update or two. It can definitely happen in these mesoscale days. What's happening in Tulsa, Oklahoma area? So not much right now. Really nothing at all around Tulsa. There's some rain showers forming well to the northwest. But you guys really won't get much until probably tonight, very late tonight. Storms most likely won't initiate around Tulsa until 10 o'clock Central. 10 o'clock Central is when they will initiate, and then they will really move into Tulsa closer to 11 o'clock midnight Central Time. Big time hail, potentially just less than 3-inch in diameter, 70 to 80 mile an hour winds, and a couple tornadoes are all going to be possible. Depends a lot on storm mode. We're going to have to wait and see how our storms fire and how many storms fire today. Yeah, and around here, around Oklahoma City, not much either. Really, for these early initiations, you got to look at correlation coefficient to see exactly what is storms and what isn't. So these are storms up here. We use the Wichita radar. You can see these areas of higher correlation. That correlates to rain showers. So early stage developments of storms, you look at correlation coefficient, reflectivity, echo tops, as well as satellite imagery. There's a few things you use to spot them. The big thing, though, is satellite. That's what we really, really use. Which, if we look at satellite right now, you can see we definitely have some storms starting to fire up out here around Sweetwater, Abilene, Texas. See if any of those are actually going. And, yep, you can see we're getting storms firing up. Probably off a dry line. Probably right off the dry line. Matter of fact, you can see it. I'll pause it. You can see that boundary. See the boundary right in here? So you can see storms have fired off that boundary. They're firing just to the east of it. See the environment just to the east of our boundary there. Forecast tools, mesoanalysis, ingredients. Yeah, wow. Probably not going to be favorable for tornadoes, considering your temperatures are at 100 degrees with dew points into the low 60s, upper 50s. Tornado that should be extremely, extremely low out here across Texas. Mainly big-time hail is probably going to be your biggest issue. I imagine lapse rates ought to be very high. Let's take a sound here on mesoanalysis. They should be really high. 9.2 0 to 3 kilometer lapse rates. Yeah. Very, very high lapse rates. So do they have a hatched hail risk out here? Yep, they sure do. They have a hatched hail risk out across this region. So big time hail. Probably not too much for the tornado threat. Yeah, some of this is not even under a 2%. I am a little surprised they have the 5% that far to the southwest. Really, personally, I don't see much of any tornadic activity behind this white line I just drew here. I don't really see much happening out here. I mean, it doesn't hurt to leave a 2%, but the 5%, I mean, it does go pretty far to the southwest. Very, very elevated temperature dew point spreads there. Look back at our satellite imagery. Is this what you're talking about here, Caden? Right in there. Yeah, Legacy, what I did was I made, I decreased the timeout for that. So I decreased the timeout by about 20 seconds. The emoji one, I decreased that by like 540 seconds. And then I got rid of it doing those warnings because it was always cluttering up chat. So Nightbot won't give you warnings anymore. It will just time you out. But the timeout is for a lot less. A lot less. It's still enough to the point where the timeout's enough to where the mods can figure out, is this a bot or is this just Nightbot being stupid? So it's still enough of a window there to where mods can decide. Like Nightbot timing out Misty, that's Nightbot just being stupid. Nope, you didn't block Nightbot. I just got rid of it. I got rid of the messages because it was like literally like every minute there would be 4 to 5 messages about that. And eventually I might just turn it to where it doesn't even time people out and it just deletes all the messages. Still some severes out here in Mississippi. Most of these are just for wind and isolated small hail. I'm good, Double. Hopefully you're doing well too. Indy and Charlotte tomorrow. 2 big races. We got the longest race of the NASCAR season, Green Flag near 6:15 in Charlotte. You got the Indy 500. A lot of people going to be out and about for race day tomorrow. Let's go check on Indy first. When does Green Flag drop there? Let's see. Ooh, pretty early. It says 12:45 Eastern. Definitely some light rain possible through much of the day, but nothing that should significantly delay the race for Indy. Most of it is extremely hit or miss. There's nothing that will completely rain out the race. Tomorrow in Charlotte, very, very tricky. There's definitely a bit more of a tricky ordeal with that. So green flags at 6. Definitely the chance for some heavier rain showers towards the start of the race. Hopefully not, but there is a chance for it. And then there's a chance for light rain through much of the day as well. So Charlotte has a much better chance of being rained out. What I'm hoping is I'm hoping it will just like pass through very quickly. It depends. It should be light rain. So once they first start, so from 4 o'clock to 7 o'clock tomorrow in Charlotte, that's your window for heavy rain. After that, for the rest of the night, there's a chance for light rain. But that light rain probably won't significantly delay the race. So hopefully both tracks stay clear of any rain delays. Hello, Jared. Glad to see you in here. Arklatex? Let me go check. So probably not much tonight. Take a look at the SPC outlook for the Arklatex area. So, like Texarkana, you guys are, depending on exactly where you are, slight or marginal. Most likely storms will die out by the time they get to you tonight. That's the current thinking, so probably not going to see a whole lot more than just isolated light rain into the overnight hours. Your big day should be tomorrow. Tomorrow afternoon, chances for severe weather should increase. A lot of uncertainty. Either you're going to have one round towards like 6 o'clock Eastern, or you're not going to get around until actually Monday morning. So either one, it looks like just thunderstorms. I don't think it would be anything significant. Worst case scenario, 60-mile-an-hour winds, 1-inch hail, heavy rain, and thunder. Yeah, very low tornado threat, pretty sure. Tomorrow, not even near the 2%. Tonight, on the edge of the 2%. I highly doubt you'll see anything tornadic. Highly, highly doubt it. They just re-upgraded the Eastern Pacific AOI. It's back up to 80%, so they downgraded it. No, they upgraded it, downgraded it, and they have re-upgraded it today. So it's right back up to an 80% chance of tropical development there. I gotta learn the NHC updating times. I have to relearn that. Yeah, they updated it at 7:11 Eastern. So that was legit 4 minutes ago. I'm surprised they even dropped it down to 70%. Personally, I do think it has an 80% chance of developing over the next week. Main tornado risk today, just after dark here in Oklahoma. So the main risk begins probably around 8 p.m. Central is what I'm looking at. Let me just see here. Yeah, 8 o'clock Central, main tornado risk begins. Probably somewhere in this area we should see storms fire. Somewhere in here. And that's when it kicks off your main tornado risk. And then that lasts all the way until midnight. So from 8 p.m. to midnight Central. That's your main window for tornadoes tonight. If we do get any strong or long track tornado today, it will likely be very close to 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. Overmixing issue, that is a big issue on the southwest side of our risk. Pretty much anywhere around Lawton pointing to the southwest is very overmixed. Temperatures are very high with dew points still good, but very high temperatures out in this area. I mean, we're talking upwards of 100. Upwards of 100, especially towards Lubbock and north of Sweetwater. But in the 10%, I don't think we'll have much of a mixing issue. Hurricane season, yeah, I expect it to be active. Like I said, I'll release my forecast probably in early June. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking early June will be when I release my hurricane season forecast, either early or mid-June. I'm going to try to aim for early June because it looks inactive for early June as a whole. And it shouldn't take me long. I'm nearly fully done with the research. There's a few things I want to look at, specifically regarding the CPC and the ENSO probabilities that they've issued. But outside of that, I'm done. I've already got the numbers that I'm going to release. NOAA released their forecast the other day. For those who haven't seen that, pull it up real quick for you. This is NOAA's forecast for this upcoming hurricane season. Very good forecast. I completely agree with it. So they've gone with a 10% chance for a below average season, 30% chance for a near normal season, and then a 60% chance for an above average season. So most likely going to see an above normal season for hurricane season here. At least this is for the Atlantic hurricane season. Keep that in mind. Named storms, quite the range at 13 to 19. These numbers were near the 20s, if not in the 20s last year. Hurricanes 6 to 10. Major hurricanes 3 to 5. So if we do verify within the middle, say 16 named storms, that's above average. 8 hurricanes above average, 4 major hurricanes above average. So the in the middle of all those is an above average season, and thus, well, that's how they came up with this pie chart of 60%. The average named storms, I believe, is 14 per year. Hurricanes is 7. Majors is 3. So, best case scenario for this season, we are barely below normal. And personally, I don't see a way we get below average for hurricane season. I think we will be slightly above average. Slightly above average is what I'm thinking. Every season is above average now. Welcome to climate change. Get used to it. It's going to be like that for the next few decades. It's probably never going to be like what it was before. I don't know if we'll ever get to a below average season. The Gulf is going to have to... I think the Gulf is going to have to be below freezing for us to get to a below average season. It's seemingly impossible for us to not get a average or above average season. It seems nearly impossible. The day the Gulf goes to 30 degrees Fahrenheit is the year we will start to see a below average hurricane season. Not sure if you ever noticed, but that thing never gets that low. It never gets to 0 degrees Celsius. I think that's legit impossible. Let's see. Coldest temp recorded in the Gulf. Oh, wow. My bad. 1899. The Gulf got down to negative 19 Celsius. Wow. Recorded off the coast of Tallahassee, Florida. Wow. I don't know if that's right. I'm going to redo that. I have a feeling this is wrong. I'm going to reword it. That's gotta be wrong. There's no way. Ah, there you go. Nope, that's not right either. The coldest air temperature recorded in the Gulf was negative 19 Fahrenheit. The coldest water temperature was 50 degrees Fahrenheit. Much more of what I was expecting there. A lot closer to what I was expecting. So 50 degrees Fahrenheit was your recorded low for the Gulf in history. And that was in 2021, just off the coastline of Texas near Corpus Christi. I was going to say, there's no way. There's no way. This AI overview thing that Google has, it can be wrong a lot. So I wanted to go and fact check that. I was like, there ain't no way. Negative 19 Fahrenheit in the Gulf? Sure. You gotta watch out with AI. It's not always correct. It's very useful, though. AI is very useful when it's right. This watch isn't going to be issued? Nah. No. If the watch was issued, Catman, I would be expecting a lower end enhanced risk. But I bet that MCD is about to expire. Yeah. Yeah, they're going to probably issue the watch here in like 30 minutes. That's what I'm thinking. The CU field is fully developed. We've got some initiation in Texas. Models indicate that 8:30 Eastern or so will be when storms fire. So we should have a watch out in probably about 30 minutes or so. Just after that MCD expires is probably when a watch will be issued. That's what I'm thinking. And it will likely be a mid-tier tornado watch. Yeah, Twitter, don't listen to Twitter. Twitter over here saying that the later these storms take to fire, the lower the tornado threat will be. It is the dead opposite. Once the sun sets, those temperatures cool off. You forget about over mixing because those temps could get down into the low 80s, and your dew points are going to be into the low to mid 70s. Over mixing won't be an issue. Overnight, of course, your lower level wind shear, your helicity. Let me just show you on here. The main bust mode for today was storms firing before 8 o'clock Eastern. Like the NAM 3K showing it firing at 5:36 Eastern. Where in the world is Helicity? There you are. Was that the right one? This one. All right, so this is generally what your Helicity is now. So your general Helicity is widespread of 100 to 150 with isolated up to about 250 to 300. And then watch how this skyrockets after dark. Yeah, this apparently shows 1,050 0 to 1 kilometer helicity. And then notice how everything in front of it is likely 150 to 250 with isolated areas from 300 to 600 and apparently 1,000 over at this one. But it shoots up a lot. After 9 o'clock Eastern, it's going to shoot up a lot. From here on out, it's going to keep increasing. Lapse rates won't be an issue. When you have an outflow boundary and a dry line, those clash along the, where they intersect, which will be northwest Oklahoma, right in here. Storms are going to go up. It doesn't really matter what lapse rates are. Let me look at lapse rates, though. Yeah, so they're at about 6.5, right at that outflow boundary dry line intersection. That's sufficient. That's sufficient. And it does decrease over the next 4 hours. In about 4 hours, it gets down to about 5, likely 5.5 in 4 hours. So, but that's normal. That's what happens when the sun sets. Your temperatures decrease, your lapse rates decrease. Logic. I want to pay more attention to that. I'm 99% sure when your temperatures are going to decrease due to daytime heating going bye-bye with the sun setting. I'm 99% sure your lapse rates across the US are going to fall off. I'm pretty sure that's how weather works, I think. Like I said, I don't know everything about the weather. I'm still learning here too. We're trying to get better together at forecasting. There you go. Someone just made a dumb point. Let me guess. Twitter. But yeah, if you guys haven't already, make sure you hit that like button. Share the stream with your family, friends, social media. Tomorrow is going to be harder for me to cover. I really do not want to miss the Indy 500 and the Coca-Cola 600 tomorrow. So tomorrow's a big race day here in the US. Like I just said, you got the Indianapolis, your Indy 500, and then the Coca-Cola Charlotte 600. So I'm not confident that I will be live tomorrow. I am not very confident. I'm pretty sure that I could fit it in. I don't know how long the Indy 500 lasts. So it lasts just over likely 3 hours. So it's going to run until, what, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's going to run till 4. So if I do go live, it will probably end up being for like a briefing tomorrow, just before dinner. We'll see. We will see. But yeah. That looks right. Plug it in, Legacy. Don't let it die. Don't let the laptop die. Severe out here, east of Lubbock for Wanich Hail. 60 mile-an-hour winds there. Yeah, I didn't realize until now that this is a radar hole. Okay. I'm not sure about you, but I don't think I'm gonna stay up till like midnight for storms that I'm not gonna be able to see. It's in a perfect radar hole. Look at that. Didn't realize that. Now, why would we not have a radar out here? Because you know, in Oklahoma, these are where a lot of the times your storms are gonna fire right in here. I'm sure one of the Dows will be out today. Dows are nearly always out there for Oklahoma threats. Let's see here. So you're north of Tulsa. Main threat is definitely hail. Hail could approach near or just under 3-inch in diameter. Damaging winds up to 70 miles per hour, and a spin-up tornado or two will all be possible, but the tornado threat should be fairly low around Tulsa, especially if you are in or especially east of Tulsa. Timing for storms is likely just after 10 p.m. Central. I've been using WeatherWise for a long time. Yeah, but I switch between the two. It depends. WeatherWise doesn't have models yet. There's a few things I'm waiting for them to add. And then I'll fully cancel Radar Omega. Most likely. I'm not too sure about canceling Radar Omega. It hasn't had updates in so long, but it still has a lot of features that most radar softwares lack. Wait, is that still there? Or did the SPC fix it? Let me see. Oh, they fixed it. Apparently the hatched wind risk yesterday on College of Dew page, or for tomorrow rather, or for yesterday. So this page here, apparently when they updated it early this morning, the hatched risk actually went like all the way up here. So there was just, instead of there being like a 5 hatched or a 15 hatched or a 30 hatched or whatever, it's just a normal hatched. So it's a 0 hatched risk. Little SPC bug earlier this morning. I wonder if hold on. Experimental text, convecutive, wind, day 2. Oh, yep, there it is. There it is. See it? That's your 0 hatched risk from earlier for tomorrow's threat for wind. It was indeed there. Man, that's a pretty big error. Put half the US in a hatched risk. I wonder if that counted for population. I'm sure it didn't. It probably didn't. Are they thinking about extending this severe watch at all? Nope. So, mesoscale discussion in Oklahoma just expired 3 minutes ago. I expect there to be a watch probably in the next 30 minutes. Unless nothing fires. I'd be pretty shocked. I would be very shocked if nothing fires today. I don't see a way how nothing fires. I don't see that being possible. Let me look at satellite. Yeah, actually, I want to look at higher definition satellite. Sorry, weather-wise, I got to go to College 2 page. In my opinion, College 2 page has the best satellite out there. Uh, well, for tropical activity, what is it? Is it this site? For tropics, Cyclonic WX is a very, very close one. I think for tropics, Cyclonic WX is number one for satellite, then tropical tidbits, then College 2 page. But for severe weather, for winter weather, for anything other than tropics, College 2 page is number one. All right, we're going to go to true color there, and we're going to loop it. So, got to look closely, because... Oh, yep, we got towering CUs right there. You got to look very, very closely right here. That is where storms are firing. I'll loop it for you. Watch how the overshooting CU starts to be pushed to the east, specifically right where my cursor is. So yeah, you do have storm initiation beginning right where I've circled. Don't think you have any rain yet. Go back to local sector, zoom in, rain, radar. Yeah, no obvious rain there. See your boundary, one of your boundaries in Southwest Texas. When those little CUs cross that boundary, see them fire up. Fire up right there. And that boundary, it's up here in Oklahoma. It's located like right in here. I don't know where it goes from there. I don't know where it goes into Kansas. Where it goes, nobody knows. I mean, I could spend the time looking at every single plot station for observations to figure it out. All right, let's move this back over here. I'm going to just double check my tornado watches are turned on, just in case we do get a watch here. Just in case we get a tornado watch. Yep, it's on. Winds knocked down a lot of stuff in my town, including trees and power lines. I knew that an MCS was possible overnight. I believe they upgraded to a 15 hatched wind risk at the 9 o'clock Eastern update yesterday. However, I didn't see how it verified. I didn't see if it verified very well or not. Based on what you just told me, I assume it verified quite nicely. Oh yeah, it was a full severe line through Tulsa. Wow. Yeah, complete severe line through Tulsa yesterday. Zoom out a little bit more. Or early this morning. Look at that. Slam Tulsa really hard. I wonder if there was any destructive severes, because see how that bows out like that? See how it bows out right in that area? Right here, right in here. Wouldn't be shocked if that was 70 to 80 mile an hour winds this morning. And then it weakened quite significantly as it went into Arkansas. Very significantly. Is that what's causing our storms out here in Mississippi? Yep. Now that's crazy. Yep. That is what's causing our severe weather here in Mississippi and southwest Alabama. Plug it up, Legacy. Do you not have a charger or something? I probably missed your comment. You probably said it. We're approaching 9,700 subscribers. We are getting very close to 10,000. Very, very close. So I appreciate everybody who's supported the channel recently, especially through that long stretch of severe weather. We're finally wrapping up. That was a very long stretch. A very long stretch for severe weather. Felt like 2024 all over again. But we were expecting a very active tornado season this year. Why, Catman? What happened? What happened on Twitter? I don't private my account often at all. I've only done it like once, and that was only for a day. Yeah, storms still trying to go up in western Oklahoma. Once they start to break through, they're going to explode easily. Yeah, the terminal radar got knocked out. Look at that. That's from your line early this morning. Terminal radar got knocked out here in Tulsa. Yep, definitely had quite the wind bag. Definitely at least 60, 70 mile an hour winds in some spots there. For sure. Knocked out that terminal radar quick. Yep. I believe that's your initiation. Those towering CUs that we saw. That's them. And you can confirm that from CC right there, right there. And if we do... Let's see... Echo Tops. Yep, right there. I mean, I have my replies set to followers only, so... You know what? I'll join that. It seems like a good reason. That is a good enough reason. Lock that. There you go. Okay. Switch back to reflectivity. Catman, do you have his username? If you have his username, that would be awesome, because just in case he follows me, I can remove him. Yep, initiation has begun. These things are going to grow upscale very quickly. Very, very quickly. I have a VPN anyways, so even I don't know if that would really work. I don't know how that would work. If you don't have a VPN yet and you're still online, Man, it's required nowadays. You never know who you're interacting with. The chemtrails? You mean clouds? Is that his username? I mean, no one pops up with that. I probably have already... Wait! Wait, no, I know that guy. I already blocked him. I blocked him, I saw it this morning. I saw his account this morning, and I saw that I blocked him. Yep, I have him blocked. Yes, I do. Not surprised. There's a pretty good chance if somebody's doing that, I've blocked them. Yep, someone causing trouble on Twitter. What's new, right? What's new, really? But yeah, storms are firing across northwest Oklahoma. We should see them rapidly intensify. We should get a tornado watch here within the next probably 14 minutes is what I'm thinking. Wow. I love how everyone's giving up on this risk. That's crazy. Even chasers are starting to give up on this risk. Like, what? I'm sorry, but we really weren't expecting storms until like 8 or 9, so what did you expect? Like, if you go to the 12Z HRRR, the earliest storms fired was 7. But then the next one, literally 13Z, one run after that, it was already starting to push back, and then 14Z didn't have initiation till 9. I'm probably going to use Enid, Oklahoma's radar site. Let's see here. Sorry, I'm checking something. Look at DMs. Yeah, I saw that tweet. Once I saw him private his account, that's when I privated mine. I wouldn't be on Twitter if it wasn't for all the chasers being on Twitter. I don't know another platform where all the chasers combine into just a single social media platform where you can quickly see their thoughts on a chase day. Just go to Blue Sky. Yeah, I left that the second I joined it. Signed up, joined it, logged out. That's how it went. All in the span of 10 minutes. Let's see. All right, so again, we're waiting on these storms to fire. We're expecting the potential for extremely large hail today, around or even exceeding 3 inch in diameter. Damaging winds also possible of about 70 to 80 miles per hour. And then we also have the risk for a couple tornadoes, possibly even an isolated strong tornado tonight. Storms are really starting to get going now. Yeah, normally we see initiation, in like the afternoon out here in Oklahoma, and then that's when things start to explode. But this is actually going to be a very late event. We're just waiting for our watch to be issued, which I really think it will be out in about 10 minutes or so. All right, let me see. Hold on. I'm just going to quickly do this. Y'all are not going to see anything for a second. I hope this doesn't sign me out or anything. Okay, there you go. All right, bring you back. What do you think the problems will be? That's a good question. I honestly do not know. I would probably say like, uh, hmm, maybe like 60-30. I don't know how high they're gonna go for the strong tornado that when it's a non-sig. We'll see how high up they go with the probabilities, but I wouldn't expect much more. Like at most 60-40. That's like the highest. I think that's the absolute highest they would go for probabilities. Still just a few little cells here. Few little cells popping up. We'll wait and see which one really, really gets going. It's a waiting game. Welcome to weather. Full waiting. Severe, another severe east of Lubbock. That's for Roaring Springs in central, kind of northwest Texas there. Northwestern Texas. Definitely not central. Northwest Texas. Still quite a few severes out here. It doesn't seem like they're going to expand the watch anymore. But still, I mean, we're still getting quite a few 60-mile-an-hour severes from southwest Alabama all the way into southwest Mississippi. Why is there 50 chasers on a 20 DBZ shower? Welcome to Oklahoma. Seems legit. Doesn't surprise me at all. Yep. Yep, seems legit. Look at them all. Just a few chasers. Just a few chasers out there in Oklahoma. That's right where I would be. I would be right at this area. Somewhere right in here. All right, let's see. What DBZ are we at now? 24 DBZ, new record. It's at 24 DBZ. So, again, we'll keep watching this little shower, see how high it goes on DBZ. It's probably going to get up towards almost like 70, I imagine. I imagine by the time we get to probably 9 o'clock or so, this thing's probably going to have near 70 DBZ with it. DBZ is what we use to measure rain. So just the higher DBZ, the heavier the rain. And then once you get very high up, like past 60, that's when it starts to get to hail. 27 DBZ. So that's like light rain right now. 27 DBZ, that's just your ordinary light rain shower that interrupts you for 5 minutes. If we do go a little bit further out, so this is what it should look like. Well, actually, there's a new run coming in right now. We'll wait for that. We'll wait for that new run. And then I will show you guys what it could look like in the future. If this stuff does fire clustered, which is what we're thinking, the tornado threat won't be nearly as high as what the environment's capable of. The environment is capable of high-end tornadoes, but the storm mode mixed with the storm motion where they're moving is not. How do you get it to show DBZ? It depends on what software you're using. So weather-wise, when you select reflectivity, it's the little... I don't know how to explain it. It's just left of the play button, and it will show you the DBZ. For Radar Omega, it's a little, like, just a little micro thing at the bottom. Just depends. Most of the time, I just click around until I find it. You can also hit I on Radar Omega. I wonder if you can on Weatherwise. Yep, Weatherwise, you could just hit I as well. I on keyboard. What do you mean pretty high-end? It's pretty high-end. It is a quite high-end environment. Just look at your parameters. For instance, supercell composite over western Oklahoma is at 28. Violent tornado parameter is at 13. Significant tornado parameter is at 7. I mean, that ain't no low-end environment there. Here, I'll show you. So this is your photograph very favorable photograph in terms of just curvature as a whole. Not too sure what's happening back here, but that doesn't matter an absurd amount. As long as it's venting at least a little well there, and it looks like it's venting off to the probably the northeast. But the main part of the photograph that matters is the red into the pink, how much curvature you have. And if we go to the skew plenty of veering. Can't tell what's happening in the lower levels. Maybe we got to go a little bit more south. I can't tell which way that wind parp's going. It looks like it's coming from the east. Looks like easterly winds, and then it turns to southerly, and then southwesterly, and then dead westerlies. And that's all your point values there. 136 0 to 1 kilometer SRH, 434 0 to 3 kilometer SRH. But that 0 to 1, that's going to go up a lot over the next hour or two. In 2 hours, you can see it goes from 100 to 250. So it should go up a lot over the next hour or two. Probably even higher than that. What's the highest DBZ you have ever seen? Ooh. I want to say like almost into the low 90s. Let's see. For sure into the upper 80s. Definitely into the upper 80s, but I'm trying to think like with a proper like hail signature, probably like 80s, somewhere towards 87. Probably upper 80s. I'd have to look at my color table. See how high my color table goes. I would say at least upper 80s, though. Let's go take a look at the HRRR here. This is your 23Z. Not rendering in on Radar Omega. It's taking forever, so we're just going to switch to College Due page. Refresh it. So this is what we're looking at here over the next 30 minutes to an hour. According to the HRRR, multiple cells firing up. Very clustered, very messy, well to the northwest of Oklahoma City. And then around 9:30, it all grows upscale very, very rapidly. Very large hail, damaging winds, and a tornado or two, all possible. And then we peak probably at 10 o'clock is when we would peak with a chance for 3-4 inch hail, a tornado or two, possibly a strong tornado west of Oklahoma City towards 10 o'clock Eastern time. And then that's as far as your run goes out at 11 p.m. Eastern. I don't expect a very high-end tornado threat. I do expect a couple tornadoes tonight, including the chance for a strong tornado, but it shouldn't be very widespread for your tornado threat. Like, only 1 or 2 storms will probably be tornadic. And then all the stuff in Texas, all that stuff's very elevated. Temperatures into the mid-90s with dew points into the low 60s, upper 50s. So mainly just a hail threat in Texas today. What's the deepest DBZ you've seen from a debris ball on reflectivity? Let me go over to Radar Omega here and go here. So that's 67. I've probably like 70, between 70 to 75. Between 70 to 75 for a DBZ debris ball. Now, what storm that was on would be very difficult for me to say. But I'm very confident I've seen greater than 70. At or greater than 70. I knew you were going to ask what tornado. I knew someone was going to ask it. That's why I answered it quickly. The little blip that never did anything. That's what we're looking at right now. Little storm that tried but never succeeded. It's trying. It's trying to strengthen. It's still oh, new record, 29 DBZ. We're getting up there. It's trying to. When we going to see this watch? Good question. I thought it would be out right now. The exact timing of watches is nearly always different. That I've seen them issue watches once a tornado warning gets issued. I've seen them issue watches hours before we even see initiation. I've seen them issue watches when we get our first severe, so it just depends. There's never really a complete guaranteed time for the watch. It's always just estimates. But I would be expecting it any second. They could wait as long as another like hour and a half just to make sure things are going to fire. I mean, on satellite, it's already firing. You can see it. It's firing right. Well, this is very... not the best depiction of it. This is 40 minutes old. Yeah, no wonder why. Maybe could I switch it? Yeah, 40-minute satellite old imagery right there. I'm going to need something a little bit more... current. All right, this is your satellite here. And it's stuff's firing right here. That's where things are firing up. Right in that area. None of them very, like, crazily notable, but they are firing. Let the yawn fest begin. Again. First yellow pixel. Yep, right there. I'm at 33 DBZ on my color table. The DBZ is the same for everybody. The thing that's different is what color it is. Like the scan that we got here at 20. Why the heck does it say 20? I think it's going off of military time. Can I change that? Let me see. It's going off of military time. Let's see if I can find something to change that at. Don't think so. Not that. Not that either. Stuck on military time. Oh, I got another one of those things down at the top right. See it? But it's the SPC. Yep. Thing's been going down a lot. At 2:33 a.m. this morning. Let's see. I'll search a few things real quick. No reports here. I see the tornado warning that was issued, but no reports here on this. Go to here. Nope. Nothing reported there. All that's in Colorado. What about on this one? Nope. I see nothing about a tornado touching down early this morning. Even the chasers are like, wow, 30 dBz. It's a miracle. It takes some time to get going, but once it gets going, it's gonna blow up. I can tell you that. It will explode. That fan has me worrying over there. Still making a funny noise. Yeah, surprised we didn't see a at least just like a normal watch extension, or possibly maybe even a new watch. Little surprised by that, because we still have plenty of severes in effect over here. I guess it's not enough to warrant a new watch, because they believe it's going to die out very, very soon. Multiple blips. Got 2 over here and 1 over here now. Multiple rain showers firing. I'm thinking about if I should stay here or not. Because I don't know how notable this tornado threat's going to end up being. It's all probably going to come down to clustered mode, if I had to guess. He will, Z. He will. Reed is everywhere at once. When TRG ends, things will go crazy. Yep. And then I just come right back on. Unless it's at like midnight or something. Sometimes even if things get crazy, I just go to sleep. It depends. Dude. I don't think it would be that crazy. I don't think it would be that crazy, Ben. Oh, we were live for that, Ponderosa. Yep. Watched it live. We were live for that. It wasn't too close to my family. I have family in central Alabama. But it was close to you. Very close to you. That went Tor E. I believe it was rated EF2, by the way. Pretty sure it was rated EF2. At least preliminary for the moment. I don't think there is a... Yeah, multiple. So the one that Reed intercepted was rated EF2. EF2 125. The one we saw east of Huntsville was rated EF2 134. There was one barely east of Huntsville, Alabama, barely east of downtown, that was rated 107. And then there was another one where we nearly had twins that went over Trenton, and that was rated 110 EF1. Those cells around the Huntsville area, they dropped 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 tornadoes around the Huntsville to Florence, Alabama area. 9 tornadoes. 9 tornadoes, dude. Out of, I believe, 2 storms. Pretty sure it was 2 storms. But none of them were rated EF3 or greater. They were all EF2 or less. So 2 rated EF2, so 2 classified as a significant tornado. Latest HRRR, it's definitely still firing. Has everything going upscale in an hour, 2 hours, big blob of a bunch of hail, and then an hour after that, closer to 11 p.m. Eastern, maybe even as late as midnight Eastern. That's when your all hazards threat peaks. 1 a.m. starts to slowly die out. 2 a.m. really starts to die out. 3 a.m. it's fully gone. So it'll be fully gone by 3 a.m. And you can see storms in, well, the newest HRRR has nothing for Tulsa. Tulsa just gets light to moderate rain. But of course, we've seen before that the HRRR can be dead wrong, so just because the HRRR doesn't show you getting anything doesn't actually mean that will be the case. How's the blip looking? It's struggling. It is very much struggling. We've got 2 main blips. One right in this area, west of Oakwood, and then another one to the northwest of Strong City, Oklahoma. And all this stuff up here in like northern Oklahoma, northeast Oklahoma, I don't expect any of this stuff to rapidly intensify at all. It could slowly, very gradually intensify over the next few hours. Probably we'll see a couple severes, but nothing, likely nothing too over the top there. We're right back down to under 30 dBz, right back down to 25. Right back down to 25. I bet it's the lower level lapse rates that's preventing this from exploding. But like I said, we will have at least one explode. We will have a few supercells explode here. Trust me, it's going to happen with an environment like what we have tonight. It may not really get going tornado-wise, but it's definitely going to explode. Watch the NAM 3K be correct and this stuff never get past the light rain stage. They're decent, but I don't know. These might be a little too far northeast to where it's not as good. They might be a little too far north. I'll go check. Yeah, they are. They're at 5.5 lapse rates. They're a little too far northeast. You know what? I feel like there is a chance. There is a chance. If we do not see one of these blips get over like 50 dBz in the next hour, there is a chance lapse rates and capping wins. And I don't think any of our newer guidance shows that. I don't think any of our main cam models show that being the case. But there is a chance. Yeah, this one fired at 7 o'clock. This one says storms fire at 8 o'clock. This one says 8. This one says 6. Spot the outlier. One says 6 o'clock. I wouldn't say he's completely right. I believe we're still gonna see stuff tonight. So I'll probably head off. Just to be honest with you, I'm probably gonna head off here in 9 minutes. Go do a few things, and then if I need to, I'll be back on. I will watch this. I'll keep an eye on it. I'm gonna show you just in case I don't see you. I made a new overlay. Just in case I don't see you again tonight, I did make a new overlay, including that overworn thing at the bottom. So, what do you think about it? See if it's horrible. I'll look at it myself too after stream to see if everything looks good with it. I'll add on to probably more of the overlay. The people who own the overlay, they're going to be updating it very, very soon. They're going to be updating it really soon, and hopefully there's a chance we could get automated warnings, like where it pops up. There's a chance we get those. So they've been testing it a lot with different live streamers, and now I'm going to start using it, and we'll see. We'll see how it works. We'll see how it works for us. You've seen it at the intros and the outros, and it's done good. So I think it was time to make a new overlay. Super clean, looks good, clean overlay. Sweet, sweet. I know Ben, I don't know if you're still here. I'm calling on Ben, the mod. The one from Texas over there in San Antonio. Wake up. I know he wasn't a fan of it when I first showed it. He thought that it was too large towards like the bottom. It was too large at the bottom, took up too much of the screen. I thought about making the face cam a little bit bigger. It feels like it's not large enough. Like for some reason, let me see if I could spot the difference. So from that wall to that side of my chair, it's not tall enough. That's what it is. It's like the times two up or something. What do you think about the overlay, Ben? Wake up. You can't think that it's a yee. I need a good, bad 1 out of 10 rating. Just don't give it a 0. Alright, I shouldn't have said that. Now he's going to give it a 0. I don't know, the camera, I feel like the camera might be good enough for now. But yeah, I can make some very small adjustments to it. I will, over the next few days, I will definitely make some small adjustments. I definitely will. And I thought about implementing like this, where we have the yellow, like, actually I have the scene. This. Kind of like this. Where we could have like the severe warnings and then we can change it still. But always keep the thing at the bottom. Shrink the date area. I could. I could move it up a little bit more too. Oh, for this one you mean? Yeah. Okay, that one's out of the border. Okay, I didn't fix that. This scene I haven't used in almost like a week and a half or so. Funny you say that. We're actually probably going to head off here very soon. Our blip died off, so there is a small chance capping wins. I'm just going to monitor it, and if I have enough energy to, I'll go live again tonight. It is definitely possible I go live again tonight. But I'm probably going to head off, go do a few things. I don't want to just sit here waiting for... You see that the date just disappeared there. It might be good to do the dates manually. This is from a website, whereas with like this date here, that's manual. This date here, that's manual. This date here, here is manual. So, yeah, it might be good to just keep it as a manual date instead of trying to do it automatically. Yeah, the website's automatic. That's why it's... See, this says like May 24th, a little bit out of the screen. If I go to this one, it says today, 05/24/2025. It's automated. So I don't have to change it. But then it flashes every now and then. But all right, we're going to head off. I'm going to go do a few things. If you guys haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button, like the stream, and share the channel with family, friends, social media. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Like I said, there's a chance we'll be back tonight. It's kind of 50-50 on it. If I have enough energy and I deem it fit, we'll be back here with an urgent stream tonight. It will not be after midnight. I can guarantee that. So if we do go live again, it will be within the next 3 or so hours. I would nearly guarantee they're going to issue a watch just shortly after I end this live stream. I would not surprise me. So, yeah, I appreciate all over 3,000 of you. Wow, over 3,000 of you for tuning into this live stream. I greatly, greatly appreciate it. 8 likes until we hit 150 likes. If y'all haven't already hit it, go ahead and hit that like button. It's greatly appreciated. This stream, after we end the stream, it gets pushed out to even more people for about 24 hours. And then after 24 hours, it no longer gets pushed out because it's old information. So, yeah, I hope you guys have a great rest of your Saturday night. I will catch you guys, if I can, tomorrow. Like I said, big race day. We got the Indy 500 in the afternoon and then into the late afternoon, and then the Charlotte 600, which could go as late as 11 p.m. tomorrow evening. Starts at 6, goes till probably like 11. So I'll see. If I do go live, it's probably going to be about 4 p.m. Eastern. I'm 50-50 on it. So I'll catch you guys whenever I'm live next. And thank you, Mods from on chat. Have a great rest of y'all's Saturday night. Goodbye. Stay safe, watch severe weather, and I'll see you guys in the next live stream that I do. Thank you, mods, for Mon Chat. Have a good